My musical journey started out for me when I was 4 years old. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, and was a child piano prodigy performing at the very early age of 8. I was classically trained, and to this day, I can play you Beethoven's Piano Concerto in C minor by memory. Beethoven, Bach, Handel, and all the Baroque and Romantic composers had a deep influence on my career. When I was in junior high, I became the main accompanist for all the choral groups in my school, as well as I played woodwinds in band and orchestra. I formed a rock opera company, Solomon's Mines, with a bunch of my schoolmates, and we toured the Pacific Northwest for a couple summers, performing in church camps, military bases, and churches. In my later life, I became the music and choir director for several church denominations, Episcopal and Lutheran, and I also had a short stint at Unitarianism thrown in there as well. I also was a lead musician keyboardist in show bands, country bands, jazz bands, rock bands, trios, quartets, small ensembles, you name it. At one point, I could play over 17 different instruments, but now I'm primarily a pianist and keyboardist. I started writing music over 45 years ago, and my music is as current now as it was then. In fact, I have re-released several of my songs on my latest CD, Reflection on Life, which came out in January just before COVID hit. I have 4 CDs released. The first one is called The Seasons and Global Travels, which was inspired by my world travels, exploring other cultures and my love of nature and seasonal change. The second is an EDM CD, electronic dance music, called The Planets, and it is my interpretation of what each planet represents to me. From the mercurial bouncing bass tracks on Mercury, to the classic orchestral piece to represent the vast expanse of Saturn, to the jarring chaos of Earth and the military march of Mars, to name a few. My ode to the planet Neptune made the top 100 EDM chart in Australia and New Zealand when it was released back in 2011. My third CD, An Eclectic Christmas, has several well-known Christmas songs arranged by me in a very irreverent fashion and was really fun to put together. I also have written some very pertinent, timely call to action songs, Rise Up, Child of the Universe, and the one I'm working on now, 8 minutes, 46 seconds, which addresses the divide that we are experiencing here in the United States and started a global movement for change. The song Image of Your Face addresses an issue we're all feeling, and that is, how do we get close to one another in this pandemic? How do we make the essential human connection we all need to have? You can see the music video for that composition on my YouTube channel, Susan VESNA. I want to tell you how much you, my followers, mean to me and how much I appreciate your support, not just to me, but to all the other artists and musicians who bare their souls to you in sharing their gift with you. This year wasn't what any of us expected when we celebrated the arrival of 2020 in January. We all made plans: school, vacation, work, personal, professional, family, and it all came crashing down in just a few short weeks of launching into a new decade. What this taught me is to live in the present, enjoy the moment, and don't sweat the small stuff. Love the people you're with, be it family, friends, parents, children, lovers, whomever. Just love them and be kind. We can't control a lot of things, but we can take the time to put in perspective what is really important in our lives and let those who share it with us know it. Before I sign off on this little insight into my life, I want to acknowledge my fans in the country of Croatia, where I also reside when I'm not in the United States. I have a studio there as well and have written some of my personal favorite compositions in that country because of the energy surrounding me and the warmth and welcoming of the Croatian people. I'll be back there as soon as I can. You can count on it. Thank you for listening.